The landscape of media has changed. At one point in time, there was nothing but newspapers. Then there was the TV news. But now, everybody's online, telling this and telling that, giving information, misinformation, misguiding people. So I guess I got to change with the time because everybody has. Hey, welcome back to Everybody Has a
Podcast.
sixth episode of the podcast. Everybody has a, because Lord knows everybody has a podcast.
Really, we have two names. It's everyone has a and everybody has a. I don't know why. We're two names. We have two names.
Because we're covering all bases here, so we're gonna make sure if anybody tries to take our name.
Because on the ticket it says everyone has a, and in the caption or the title of the video it says everybody. So
we have
two names.
We answer the both. So you see us out there, or we come up to you, and we might have something in hand for you. Just everyone.
Make sure you're subscribed because you never know, you might get a surprise.
Okay. I hope she can keep up to her promises. Okay, everyone makes a promise. Okay, but let's get to the show. Ladies first. Well, you've been busy all week with work and all that kind of stuff, so I'm doing my job. I go check out the young ladies. Busy week for me. Caught a couple of volleyball games. I saw Millington take on their rival Covington at their place in Millington.
Covington's a rival?
Yes, in volleyball, big time rival. They literally alternated championships in district and regionals. So the last 3 or 4 years, you guys, Coach Gallo, she'll let you know. That's their biggest competition. And they proved it last week by beating Millington in 4 sets, getting revenge on the Lady Trojans, who went up to Covington in August and beat them in 4 sets. So they're pretty much even. Covington came in with a new game plan, executed. Millington's still adjusting with their lineups. I think they're starting to settle more on a lineup, and with Big London, Macklin getting her there in the middle as a blocker, they're still trying to adjust some things. So it was a tough loss, but we'll see in October. That's when you really want to beat your rival.
And London's still young. She's a sophomore, right?
No, freshman.
Freshman? Because she was playing basketball
as
an eighth grader.
Only a freshman.
That's a baby right there.
Yeah.
So, and that's a big baby.
Yeah, so she's going to get
tall, big baby.
Yeah, she's going to get stronger and learn her body more. So when she gets all of the
basketball, she was actually she was solid. Not gonna lie, she just needed a little more confidence, but she's a good athlete.
Yeah, especially for an 8th grader. She was playing in tournament play last year. So with her footwork, nice soft touch around. Wait, we're getting basketball. Let's get back to volleyball.
I'm sorry.
London's gonna be special. London's gonna be special. but Millington took a tough one. And so Covington eating up things, and we're gonna hear more from that rivalry in October. Then I got out to TRA and got a chance to check out and see them against the Memphis homeschool team. Very competitive, as you're gonna see in the highlights. It was very competitive points. But Caroline Rowland for TRA, she is a stud, a superstar. She's only a sophomore. She's gonna keep getting better and better. She's the go-to player on that team. But TRA has a lot of solid parts to work with. And then I closed out the week with a little soccer action. I saw Mumford against Lausanne. Mumford is taking on a very tough schedule. 8-0 loss to Lausanne, but they're trying to get to see that type of tough competition because in the later part of this week they're going to see Houston and Collierville and teams like that in their league, and then Millington and Brighton play this upcoming week. I'll make sure I get to that game because that'll be for first place in their league in soccer. So the ladies are definitely keeping me busy, and let's make some time for a nice extended highlight of ladies first.
Chad Blunt on the beat.
back with our second segment. It's football recap time. And before we get to our game of the week that we attended, which was Millington at Bolton, gotta give a shout out to the Memphis Cougars, who are still undefeated. Went up to Haywood and took care of business, 51-28. The Cougars are for real. Whitehaven is on the docket for this week down in the Haven, so go Cougars, go, as they like to say up there in Tipton County. They're also undefeated along with their rivals Covington. They picked up a big win this week. So we'll check on the other teams in the area later with our dynamic top 10. But you see this right here. You gotta give a shout out to the Tigers. Go Tigers, go. You're looking at two University of Memphis alumnus right here. How you feel about the 32-31 win over Arkansas?
Honestly, I don't really keep up with other schools, so I didn't know how big of a deal this game was. So to hear that it was a big deal, and then they're like, Memphis is gonna get beat, or if Memphis win, it's like a big deal, So for us to win, I was like, oh wow, like we're good.
Okay, so help me out here. I'm in the class of 2003 at the University of Memphis. You are a class
of 25.
Okay, back then our biggest rivals were, of course, Tennessee. We always wanted to beat Tennessee. We hated Arkansas and everything, from basketball to baseball, Mississippi State, all the SEC schools in there, Ole Miss. But Cincinnati was a big rival. Louisville is always a team we hate. Who are the rivals to the Tiger students of the day?
I have no clue. I really don't know.
There's nobody on campus.
I don't know who our rival would be, like who it's like, oh, we have to beat them, because I never really heard of like, oh, we have to beat this
Now,
school.
in her defense, and Gen Z and society, all this conference realignment, I think, has messed things up.
Yeah.
Y'all been in two different conferences. It's like we were at CUSA when I was at the University of Memphis, so we knew we hated Louisville. I was taught that by my uncles. We knew to hate Cincinnati because Bobby Huggins and all that. So it crossed over to all the other sports. And then the SEC schools, they never let us in the conference, so we learned to hate them.
I just feel like there's like a big names and like big schools that we just want to beat.
Okay.
Because like I think last year we went to Florida and we beat Florida State, and that was a big deal.
Our former coach went
us.
down there, so yeah.
That was a big deal for us. So like I feel like there's more like, we just want to beat the big names. It's not really much of we have beef with you, we have to win.
But speaking of beef, that's the perfect word, UAB. They call it the rack of ribs because both cities think they can barbecue. Birmingham, Alabama, and Memphis, Tennessee. Of course, we're number one at barbecuing here in the M-Town. So, UAB is not a rival? Or?
I guess that is one of our rivals.
Okay.
I just don't hear about that stuff. Like it's,
SMU,
like my
when you
circle.
The SMU game was big that time.
Yeah.
They went
I feel
off
like
to
my circle is more like in college, my circle was like, let's just go to the games, we're having a good time. It wasn't really about like rivalry, and like it was like, we want to win, obviously.
Yeah.
We want to win, but it's never like, if we lose, we might crash out.
Okay.
It was never that. It was just like, but you know what, low-key, if we do lose, it is kind of like we want to crash out, because we hate when like refs call stupid plays.
No, that's any
game. That's obviously any game. But like, I don't know, just being in the student section at the football games, it is really just like a good time.
Okay.
So we're just enjoying the game, cheering on our team, getting touchdowns. We don't really pay attention to the other.
But thank you for that insight, just to get a better understanding of the climate.
At least for me.
Okay.
Speaking on.
I think overall that's the pulse overall, because even from the outside looking in, you really can't pinpoint this is the must-win hatred game for Memphis, and even the city. We just kind of backed off of our basketball rivalries have died down, and all this conference realignment.
I think, what did you say, Rice?
No, not really.
Rice one apart?
Only when we're trying to eat a meal with some cheese and some broccoli, some rice might be a problem.
I think one of our rivals is like
Houston, but
Army.
Houston moved on.
I think the Army is.
They always give us fits and
rivals, I think, actually, or like Navy, actually, like the military.
That's why high school sports.
That's
why high school sports is so important, because you still get to hold on to some rivalries. Millington took on their rivals Bolton this week, went down there, but it was a little bit more subdued mood this year, because Bolton, Coach C.J. Marshall and the crew over there are dealing with the loss of their teammate, their beloved friend, and with Joshua Henderson, and they're still mourning that situation and trying to get through a season. It's been a tough start for them, but they did get their first score this week against Millington, went up 7-0. Then the Trojans rallied back, collected themselves, led by Cole Hawkins, Mr. West End Media, and got things rolling to prevail 21-7. But even that rivalry didn't feel energetic this year because of the circumstance, not because of the rivalry.
Yeah. I just feel like Bolton and Millington are kind of like in the same boat right now, especially with them both starting out 3-0.
0-3.
0-3, that's what I mean. 0-3. Sorry, I got it backwards. So I think it's just gonna take Bolton a while to like, you know, officially like gel together and like play. You know what I'm saying? Because like honestly, them, not to diminish their touchdown, but I feel like Millington wasn't playing to their fullest in that first quarter. So them getting that touchdown was kind of like Millington was falling asleep, and you know, that touchdown woke them up.
Well, Trey Wampler, one of the defensive leaders of Millington, the linebacker extraordinaire, did admit that they came out taking it for granted. Bolton hadn't scored, so they thought we just going to run a rush shot over them. But it wasn't that way. So let's check out some of the highlights from the game to see how Millington prevailed 21-7.
Tattoo, baby.
Okay, we're back with our third segment and our sights and sounds. We went to Bolton and we talked about, the old rivalry, trying to keep it alive. The atmosphere was just really just melancholy,
It was very dead.
Yeah. We had to walk around the whole building. We parked in the traditional visiting parking, gate slot. We see a chicken coop, and I think there was more chickens there than people at that point in time. We saw the Millington trainers and managers, so they couldn't let us in because they had already locked the fence. So we had to walk around the whole building and just to see just how it was not energetic. No, this is Bolton's third game of the year. They held off in the first two games because of their circumstances. So it's still like preseason energy over there. And then we go through the security and all that good stuff. That's getting more common, going through ones and getting checked and everything. And then for the second year in a row, they don't know who West 10 Media and the Millington Star is. And I'm not going to sit here and act like everybody should know who we are. And they're I'm famous. No. But you see a Tennessee Press Association pass, a TWSAA media pass, which means you are covering events, you're officially affiliated with a paper or some kind of media outlet. Just put some respect on it. But I guess when people don't hear ABC 24, see a big, I got this camera. I got a huge camera. It gets kind of irritating. So my daughter, she doesn't take very kindly to that.
No, I don't. It's very irritating because like one, we're doing something good for these kids. Like, it's coverage for these kids. It's kids, to have video footage so they can see themselves play and be like, oh wow, I'm on YouTube. I'm in the paper. That's like
send off to colleges.
That's a big deal. So it's not like, honestly, like, we don't have to go to these games. Like, we're not doing this for ourselves. Like, we're not doing this because, oh, we love high school sports and we love high school football. Let's enjoy this game. No, we do enjoy the game, but we also like do it because it's important to highlight these athletes, because some athletes get injured, some athletes don't make it, and so these clips are very important.
We do it for the kids. We do it for the community. I do enjoy sports.
I do too.
But it's getting connected with Cole Hawkins. It's getting to see the kids like a Damian King from Millington grow and mature. You can mention his name and showcase that number 27 jersey out there, and for Caleb Clark, and the number 33 jersey of King, and push them out there and promote them. It's watching a Cole Hawkins go from a freshman quarterback and mature. I've seen this with McCoy Pugh, and I've seen this with Tommy Clifton over the years. So you get connected with the people. Trust me, the parents are putting out videos. They got boosters putting out videos. They got the games on Facebook Live. We're just an additional medium, but we have, since we've been open since 1951. So it's history behind me, literally behind me, that we cover over the years. Millington is celebrating their 100th year of football. Most of it's documented right behind me, and it keeps that alive, a legacy alive, and it connects them to the past. So what we do, we feel is very important, and we're not there, like you said, for our own health, walking and logging in all those steps and everything, but it's a labor of love, and we do enjoy what we do, and we take it very seriously. We want to showcase Bolton. They're going to come age. They're going through a traumatic season, and we're documenting a small part of it that they can look back on and see how they handled a tragic event in their lives. These young men are going to grow and mature from this and become better people. And Coach CJ, I'm just a phone call away to showcase his kids when their signing day comes and things like that, so the parents can have that keepsake done professionally, because everybody's going to take out these cell phones and take pictures and everything like that, but it's something about the professional touch and that third party that doesn't have an agenda but your best interest, that it's very important. So we take it a little seriously. We ran into issues at Kirby and other places like that, but we do appreciate the people in the county. Lakeland, we thank you. You saw our press pass, you showed us respect, you let us right in, because we're not trying to scheme and sneak into a game. We're really there trying to document history. We want to showcase West 10 media too, but our primary goal is to make sure we record the truth, record history, and showcase our young people so they can have a brighter future. We've seen it happen too many times. In my 22 years of doing this, she's only been alive 22 years, but in my 22 years of doing this, I've seen it where this is a very important job in documenting history. So, you got any additional thing you want to add?
Well, added to our sounds, and when you walk in past the beep beep, walking through the metal detector, you walk in, you see all the kids warming up, and they got their music going. I'm a little too old to know who they're listening to now.
Wow.
But it's really you see, even though Bolton is going through a loss, they aren't playing like it. They're not acting like. They're playing for that teammate, and like they play to win. That's their thing. They're playing to win. They have energy out there. Like when they get those tackles, they're up here doing hand gestures and all that stuff. When they get touchdown, when they got their touchdown, they're celebrating all that stuff. They're
still kids. They're still kids.
And they were not laying down. They weren't just gonna lay down and let Millington walk over them. They played like they wanted to win, and so it was. Even though the crowd and the audience, like their side, didn't have all that energy, the players still played like there was a lot of energy in the crowd. So
Wildcat Nation, go out there and support y'all boys, especially through this tough season. And the last thing on Sights and Sounds, on Thursday night prior, I went to the busy campus of Liyah Collegiate School. The reason why it's busy, it's a big tall building that they're building, so that's part of the Sights and Sounds. You gotta get around all the construction, and then I got a chance to check out the soccer game, and Liyah, y'all got a pretty good team, and you want me to prove it? Check out these highlights.
Ooh, shit,
I love a trap nigga.
Okay, now we come to our final fourth segment for this 6th episode with our Dynamic Power 10. Shouts out to Dynamic Physical Therapy. Appreciate you sponsoring our Power 10 yet again this year. And we're getting past the halfway point for most teams as we head into week 6 of our Power 10. And let's start with number 10. Ooh, St. Benedict took a tough loss. They're 3-2 on the season now. They have North Point coming up. They have to travel to North Point. And they took a tough one to Briarcrest, 58-7. But they're still in our top 10. Arlington started off 4-0. Now they're 4-1. They will be at Lakeland Prep. Okay, they got humbled by the Collierville Dragons on their own turf, 58-0. Collierville, we had in preseason #1 for a reason. They're playing one of the toughest schedules in the area, but they're starting to get their chemistry down. Number 8, St. George's. They're 3-1. They were off this week. They get ready for their matchup with North Panola down in Mississippi. Okay, number 7, Tipton Rosemark Academy Rebels dropped one this past week, 55-21 to ECS, one of the largest schools in private school. But the Rebels are 3-2. They will take on Jackson Christian at their place this week. Number 6, the Collierville Dragons at 3-2. They will take on Bartlett. They're back home. They'll take on Bartlett this week. They did pick up that win at Arlington. Now they're 1-0 in league play for the Dragons. Number 5, the MUS Owls bounced back this week, 29-26 over Father Ryan. They're 4-1 on the season, and now they will take on White Station at home. At number 4, at 4-1, also in the same league as MUS, the Briarcrest Saints. Aforementioned 58-7 winners over St. Benedict. They'll try to keep it rolling against the undefeated Southwind Jaguars. That's going to be a tough task against the Jaguars. The Jaguars and the Germantown Red Devils heading on a clash at the end of the season. Might be 2 undefeated. Keep a look out for that. At number 3, still undefeated, her favorite team in the world, the Memphis Cougars. I'm picking on the Millington Trojan there, the M&M rivalry. But the Cougars are 4-0. Like we mentioned earlier, they beat Haywood. Now they got to head down to Whitehaven and see if they can keep this undefeated season going. Coach Lake Calhoun, he's our boy. You know we love him. And that running attack, you know which way that monster's coming at you with those big boys in the front. Mumford is going to be a tough team this year, and they might be ready for a long run in the playoffs in 5A this year. Number 2, still unbeaten, as we mentioned earlier, the Germantown Red Devils. Coach Robinson has the boys rolling. They picked up a big win over Lausanne, 40-35 this week, in a shootout over there. It doesn't get any easier for the Red Devils. They take on Memphis Central, one of the best teams in 5A.
The high school.
Yes, they were the H on their letterman jacket. The high school, the Central Warriors. We do put some respect on the name. The first high school in the M-Town. And at number 1, at 5-0, the Covington Chargers. They'll be at Ripley. They took care of business against Obion County, 63-8. Man, they are rolling on offense. They stay healthy. They can make a nice long run and possibly head back to the state championship round. So that is our Dynamic Power 10 for this week. In closing doubts from you, Liyah.
No, I just want to say leave a GTG in the comment section. Go Tigers, go.
Okay.
Because Tigers won.
And to celebrate the game, and this is for the Razorback fan, we're going to go have some bacon because we just slaughtered the hog. And now just kidding to all my Arkansas fans out there. Much love, great game, but you had to admit, when we got that fumble, that was huge. That was a big moment because that's what Tigers do. We come up clutch. But since I think we're getting ready to close out, we might be doing something special at the games coming soon. So be on the outlook for us as we on the outlook for y'all.
And make sure you subscribe.
Yeah, hit the bell and do all that fun stuff. Leave some comments and everything like that. And we will see y'all around. But you know how we close out with the Liyah lens. Check it out.
My guy from Memphis, Tennessee, Chalmers.
West End,